about real quick. I've known this guy for
2010.
Well, I think even before that, but that's when you first came in Strong Style, 2010. What was that, 14 years? And I remember this is like maybe 5 or 6 years ago or so. We're talking about how long we've known each other, and I'm like, no, we've known each other that long. And then I looked at some old pictures. Holy shit, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And just to see, the climb. Now, I don't know. Well, of course, I hope you guys know him. You went to the seminar, but this is. You have like a living legend here, and you have somebody that, forget about what he's done or where he's done and all that, that he's here with all that experience and all that, when it first started. We right now, in white belts and blue belts, you guys have it so, it's not even fair, because when I started, the blue belt was the god.
Yeah, a blue belt was hard to find.
Yeah. And but to see where the jiu-jitsu's coming here and see how some of these, we got some really good guys that are starting all that. But when we first started here, and this guy before me, it was like the wild west. Our practices were like experimental fights. All right, well, this seems to work, and so a lot of the things that you're getting, from Sean or from people with the experience, is not just the technique, where we talk about don't get lost in the technique, but the idea of what we're doing here, trying to make somebody else say uncle, and how do I do that best? And so you're gonna get so much, advice, instructions, but the experience and the wisdom, that's something that you're definitely gonna find. Oh, I made it a little too big. You can change it. Sorry. The way that the stripes work, at least under the Federation, and they change so often, but is, one, you have to be very active, but two, for the first 3 stripes, each stripe is after 3 years. So we're at 6 years on the 27th.
Yep.
As a black belt, and then in 3 more years he'll get a 3rd stripe, and then after those 3 years, 5 more years to get the 4th stripe on there. But this is not an accurate resume of what this guy has in here. Not just from jiu-jitsu, but from judo, from catch wrestling, from shigetai, from everything. I probably can go on forever what he's done. So I'm proud to give him the stripe and actually to call him a brother.
Well, it's a time and service kind of thing. This is but I teach, okay? That's all I can do now, but it's all I love doing. Like when I was training for myself, my camps always sucked. Like I always didn't operate well, but when I trained others and helped others get ready in their camps, I was fucking like, I was like a god, literally. Like I was in God mode all the time because I was operating from a place of love, okay, not a place of fear. When I trained for myself, I had fear of losing, fear of looking bad in front of people, fear of my ego getting squashed, okay? But when I no longer had to worry about that and all I ever had to do was focus on other people, that was when I shined, actually. That was when the technique flowed out of my body. And I was unstoppable, okay? Which was great for the person getting trained up. But I realized if I have a place of love and a place of learning and a place of peace when I do this stuff, this is why it's Paradox. My martial art, my company is Paradox Martial Arts, PMA, okay? Because everything about martial arts is a paradox. It's healing and it's hurtful, okay? The same submissions that you do to harm people are the same movements if you do in just the right way is a good therapeutic stretch, okay? But like, the whole process has been a give and take, 25 surgeries later. Martial arts didn't really do it to me. Martial arts actually helped me with my health problems, okay? It gave me, it was part of the problem, but it also gave me the solution too, okay? But now I know how to train better. So your guys' goal, and it's like, my whole thing is, like when I tell people, ask me what to help people when they're training is to learn in your youth what you're forced to to do in your old age. Okay, when things are taken away from you, you're forced to use more technique. But if you use more technique when you still have the athletic ability, ignore the athletic ability and focus on the technique, I promise you, if you can just put down a month of just pure technique, or if you can do 2 months, or just a whole fucking year, imagine if you can just do a whole year, where you're not worried about winning or losing, just simply fucking learn. When I fought in the UFC, I was UFC 2. The reason why I went and did it was not to become a champion, it was to literally see if my martial arts fucking worked. If what I put all my goddamn time into, is it gonna save my life? I came up short. I learned I needed a grappling. So luckily I had Ken Shamrock there and he invited me to become one of the original Lions Den members. That was who my first grappling coach was. I moved back to Ohio, I fell in with different jiu-jitsu guys, you know, just sporadic, just like you were saying, blue belt here, blue belt there. I had to go to Indiana to go train. Chris Lytle was one of my training partners. If everybody knows who Chris Lytle is,
I heard that name in a while.
right?
Yeah.
You know, but I got a VHS videotape of him and I trying out in Jason Gottes's mother's basement. That's where we trained. That's where these professional MMA fighters trained, was in a mother's basement. Okay, and I traveled to Indiana. I drive 4 hours to go do that. Back in the 90s. All right. So when I fought, it was to learn. So my whole progression is to learn as many things. I have a black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in BJJ, a black belt in Judo. I have a black belt equivalent, you know, like my knowledge in Sambo is black belt level. So I went overboard. I was like, I got this weakness, fuck it. I'm gonna make it my strength, okay? But and while the whole time not neglecting my strengths. You know, my striking is there. So I'm an MMA fighter. I'm a true NHB. That's where I come from. I know how it all ties together, the striking into the throwing, into the submissions, and all the ground and pound and all that kind of shit.
NHB is what they used to call it before MMA was
No
no holds barred. It means there was no rules, biting, hair pulling. I don't know, anybody.
The only thing that, yeah.
There was eye gouging though.
Biting and eye gouging were the only two.
Yeah, you could headbutt, you could pull hair.
You could punch the joint.
Yeah,
You could twist it in.
Actually, you
Twist
could
it
do
in
that.
fact.
That would be cool.
But anyways, I don't want to be long-winded about that. Just those are some kind of things, man. Try to find a place of love. Don't have the fear of looking bad. You know, everybody looks bad. We're wearing geese for credit. We're LARPing. Okay? Some of us are in spandex. Some of us are in kimonos. You know what I mean? You know, we're dorks. Okay? Nobody thinks we're fucking cool when we walk outside. Embrace that shit. We're losers together. Okay, we're not losers. You know. But that's all. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for supporting this. This is how I make my living, and I'm overwhelmed. I really appreciate you guys coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.